Rome wasn't built in a day. It's gonna take a while. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It is time for a Motivational Monday. Are you someone that busts their own joy when something good has happened? Do you talk down at yourself the moment you succeed at anything? Do you procrastinate on working on your passions because, oh well, why would I ever try? It's going to suck anyways. Today I'm going to share 5 tips that will help you and stop that soul-shattering behavior, okay? No. In 2019, we did that in 2018. That wasn't enough. Number 1, stop making toilet paper lists. I call them toilet paper lists because they are so forking long, you can wipe your ass with it. No. Let me tell you a secret. Making a long list of this is what I'm gonna do is okay, but from that long list you have to make a list at least 3 points or 5 points that are your priority, that are the most important thing on that long list. Because if you're gonna keep looking at that long list, nothing is ever gonna happen because you are gonna feel overwhelmed. After you shorten your list, like, okay, this is my list, you can keep that because I feel so much better when I make a list of all the things that I need to do. Set a timer. It works most of the time when you're like, okay, I'm gonna give myself 20 minutes for this. You start, and the moment you start, the rest will follow. But for most of us, starting is what is keeping us from doing anything at all. It is just set a timer, because if you're like me and you're like, oh, I like a challenge, a timer will really help. Or you can write the time next to it, like making a letter that's going to take me 5 minutes, or hanging up the watch is taking me 10 minutes. I make sure that I write a few minutes extra because I know I can do my laundry in 5 minutes. So the moment I set my timer for 10 minutes, I'm doing my laundry, I'm like, ah, that was 5 minutes? That is even better. I promise you, you will feel so much better when you shorten your list. So the long list is okay, but tomorrow there's another day. And if you did 3 or 5 of those, say 100 things, that is a really good thing. Number 2. I ship it. And no, this is not about a relationship with someone else. This is about your relationship with yourself, because I think it is the most important thing to have a beautiful and healthy relationship with yourself. I think when you're way kinder towards yourself, you can be your own best friend and nobody is ever gonna stand between you two. Basically, you're one, but you get it. You may think that this is silly, but have you ever listened to yourself? Have you listened to the things that you say towards yourself in your head? Maybe sometimes even out loud when you're alone? No, me neither, because it's horrible. The way that some of us speak towards ourselves is so different from the way that we speak to other people. Like, we would never talk to a friend, especially a best friend, in the way that we do towards ourselves. One of the things that really worked for me, I made a letter. It's a letter that I kept forever when I feel like I'm down or I'm doing that same thing again. I pick up that letter and I read it, and I made it so that I will talk about the things that I want, the things that I wish for myself, the things that I would love to be working on, and it's a really good reminder. It's one of those self-care things that I think will be important for everyone, to just have a good letter towards yourself, written by yourself, to remind you of the things that are amazing about you and why you should continue doing amazing stuff that you're already doing, and not give up on your dreams or your passions. I also had to do this assignment when I finished an education, and she kept the letters and she was like, I'm gonna send them towards you guys, but not at the same time. And I totally forgot about that letter, and then one day I got a letter and I was like, what? This is my handwriting? And I read it and I was just like, I was so taken back by how beautiful it was and how nice, and it gave me a boost. It motivated me to do better at my job that I was working at that time. Try to write a letter and write in what you wish for yourself, what you want for yourself, what your dreams are, what your passions are, what are the things that you want to work on, what are the things that you feel bad about and then you maybe want to check in. Number 3. Get to the core. And no, I'm not talking about the gym. Like, don't work on your biceps and your stomach and anything. I'm just saying, go deeper. No, go back to the roots of where it all started. One thing that is super important is to know your own whys and hows and whens. And they always say you only know where you're going if you know where you're coming from. And I'm not just talking about your history, but I also talk about the problems that you have, the things that you're dealing with. Maybe you've suffered from mental health issues, or there is something that was really traumatizing to you and you just kept it locked inside, and it's just like, I'm not gonna look into it, I'm just gonna live my life. It will catch up to you. And that's why I'm saying go back to the core and try to solve your problems one by one. It is really important. It's important for your health. It is important for your mental health, for your whole state of human being, kind, body, soul, everything. It is really muy importante to know who you are, know what you've went through, what you've been going through. And if you work on those things, you have such a more clearer path for the future. Because nothing is stopping you. Nobody can tell you shit, because you know who you are. You know what you've been through. You know what you're doing right now, what you're going through right now. You know who you are. You know your flaws and your pros and your cons, everything. They can't tell you shit. And that is what I really wish for everybody, to get to that level. Like, okay, cool. You're trying me right now, but I know who I am, so it doesn't really resonate with me what you're trying to say right now. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore you. So I want to invite you to go and dig deep. Go back to that kid that you were, who asked anything and everything. Can you still remember that you were a little kid? You were like, why? Why is that? Go back to that kid. It is really important. Ask why? How is that possible? Where does it come from? I really believe that that will help you a lot. For example, I can do this. Why can't you do this? Because I think it won't be good enough. Why do you think it won't be good enough? Because there are others who already done it. Okay, but let's do this and try to make it better than they did. You know, dig a little deeper. When you say, oh, I hate this, why do you hate that? What is triggering it for you that you can say, I hate it? I'm not saying you should do this with everything and anything, but just pick your battles wisely. And I will tell you, you feel great once you went through that. At first it's horrible, but then it's gonna be great. Number 4, micro actions. I already talked about don't make your list so long. And although we didn't get a role in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know that movie? We can turn our big attempts into small progressions. Instead of going 180 and be like, I'm gonna work out 5 times a week, and then not doing it at all because 1, you're not used to it, and 2, you might be lazy and a good procrastinator like me. Try to say, I'm gonna work out once a week. 1 time is way easier, and it might inspire you to do 2 times, and then you will feel way much better than when you did, I'm gonna do 5 times and then not do 1 at all. Instead of saying, I'm gonna save a lot of money every month, try to save up 10 euros a month or dollars, because that 10 euros or $10 is not gonna feel like that big amount of money. Try to hide it anywhere safe, or a bank account that you can't read, because it's one of your goals. It's better to save some than not at all, and you will feel way much better about yourself. Because yes, there are other people out there who can do that flawlessly, but you are not those other people. I'm not those people. So also a comparison is a bit, keep it to yourself and give yourself more time, because you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and it's gonna make sure that you're not gonna do anything at all. I think you get the idea. Set the bar lower. Set it so low that nobody can limbo under it. Like, no. But once you try to do them in micro actions, just smaller portions of the bigger things that you want to do, you also gain more confidence. And with confidence comes trust within yourself that you can do the bigger things. Because once you trust yourself, you know you can ask from yourself to do more things and get them done. I already kind of said it, but honor your pace. Comparison is a The thing is, there is always going to be that one person that has your idea and makes it into something beautiful. There's always going to be that person that does the study and it looks flawlessly, and you're like, oh my god, I'm breaking my hand, I cannot even finish 1 paper. It doesn't help, and it only makes you sabotage yourself even more. Stop that shit. You is not another person. You is you, and we are so freaking beautiful and unique, and it is time for you to realize that. Yes, someone could have the same ideas, but if you have the same idea, still do it. Because all the things that are here are already done, and maybe there's a person on the other side of the world who's also already done what you really want to do. Make sure that when you know that, make it better. Come on. It is always important to try to make things better. Why else do you have your idea not to make it worse than the already existing idea, right? That other people already did it says nothing about you or your abilities. Because here's the secret, what Betty did will never have the same results as when you're gonna do it. And I think along our journey, that is something that we forget. You just need some faith, some glitter, and a lot of self-love. And then you can go on your journey. You can go. You can do it. So start your journey with a fresh, loving mind. Write down that toilet paper list, but make it into a smaller one. Cheer yourself on and get those pom-poms out of the closet like woo-hoo. Get to the core. Treat yourself as your best friend forever. Create smaller actions instead of elephant ones, because they're not gonna help you. And stay in your lane. You is you, and you're absolutely freaking beautiful. So keep that. Now punch the clock, it's time to work, 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 work. If you know that song, if you don't. So I hope any tips of these will resonate with you and that it can help you on your journey. And don't forget to love yourself. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Say it with me. I love me. There you go. Chakaya.